Howdy doody, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. I'm co-host Mike Smith along with
Dan Ramey.
Did we get short?
I don't think so.
Looks like
We might be tilted up a little
farther
bit.
down in the screen than usual.
I'm also not Dan Ramey.
No, you are.
I'm Aaron Glandon.
Yeah, your mother just went, don't do that. Dan is on assignment this morning, and sometime later today, and certainly on this program tomorrow, he'll be telling you about where he is today, as we'll use that as part of our stories to tell you about on Litter Media Live. Another hot one today. You want to just give me the general forecast? This is easy.
Real hot.
There you have it. Yeah. How hot is hot?
Well, it's the first day of summer, and we're getting weather typical of that. It feels like summer.
Yeah. Considered the longest day of the year as far as the amount of sunshine or daylight hours that we're going to get. But officially, it doesn't become summer until 4:51 p.m. today.
Yeah. Do you know what time the sun's supposed to set?
Well, I can tell you that in just a second here, because my little handy-dandy weather app tells me that. Here in Chillicothe, sunset is supposed to be at 9:01 p.m.
Okay. What time did the sun come up this morning?
6:05 a.m.
Okay. That's a long time for the sun to be out.
Yeah. Now, now this may sound like a strange question, but what technically is sunset? Because it's still light out even after the sun disappears over the horizon.
Right.
So is it when you last see the sun going down over the horizon?
I think so. I think sunset is when you can't see the sun anymore.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Not when it's completely dark.
No. Because it seems to me that, in the summer, I've gone to bed as early as 9:45, almost 10 o'clock in the summer up here. And I can still see light.
Right.
Now, the kind of interesting thing, we kind of gotten used to the pattern of when, it gets dark here in the Midwest, but when you go like onto the East Coast, there's like a half-hour difference. Even though we're on the same time zone,
right,
it's darker about a half hour earlier. Do you go to the ocean much?
I'm not a big fan of like the beach because I don't like sand. If I'm swimming in the ocean, then that's cool. But one time I just tried to sit on the beach and read a book, and I couldn't because the sun was blinding me off the pages of my book.
Well, that's where sunglasses come in.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, my daughter and my wife, and I can't do that. I can stay out in the sun like that for about an hour and a half if I'm listening to music or something like that. But I'm not one. But they say, well, why do you even want to go if you don't come out? And it's like, because I love your grandfather, Uncle Ivan, my uncle,
right,
your grandfather. It was like pulling teeth. He and my father-in-law, we used to go down as a huge family conglomeration for years. Getting those two farmers to get to the beach was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I bet.
But after they went the first time, it was like they loved it. And I think just getting to set up there and watch the ocean, watch the waves.
My dad loves the ocean.
Oh my,
You just like to go sit on the beach and listen to Van Halen.
Not bad. But yeah, the sunsets when it's not overcast or whatever. I remember we were at Marco Island. This might have been 2 or 3 years ago. We were staying in a high-rise, and everybody was doing the same thing. They were out on the balcony, and when it was one of the most beautiful sunsets I think I've ever seen. When it went down, it was like everyone cheered. It was like you were at a theater or something, but it's like a good friend of mine for many years, Doris Shanks.
Yeah.
She said something one time. She saw the beautiful sky, and she went, "Good job, God." And that's what I thought. Good job, God. That That is beautiful.
When I was out in LA, we would all go to the roof and watch the sunset. And one thing about LA is pollution's so bad. There's smog, but that makes the sunset really beautiful because there's a lot of extra colors.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy.
Titanium, alloy.
Yeah.
So the weather, we're talking about that excessive heat alert still in place. I think they're talking right now through about 8 o'clock Saturday night. We're going to continue to have some 95 actual temperatures, heat index of 100. But there's still that outside shot of a pop-up thunderstorm. And we've seen that around Ohio over the last few days. It's not a concentrated storm that comes through and hits everywhere. So it's just kind of here and there. But that's what you can look for weather-wise over the next few days. So stay cool, especially for those of you that are outside working or up in Pickaway County. You've got the county fair going on right now. I think Aaron's going to go up there a little bit later today. We'll talk more about that here in just a bit, but take care of yourself out there. When we come back, we'll take a look at today's show topics on Litter Media Live. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, they can take care of you with a huge dumpster, just like the one you see in this graph. And for cleanup projects, and that can be just about anything. It could be like Aaron cleaning out his room when he was a teenager. He probably had 3 dumpsters.
I actually have a bunch of stuff in the back of my car right now that my parents made me get out of their house.
So you could use one of these dumpsters?
I could.
Well, give Carl a call, 253-8389. He'll give you a free estimate and get you squared away at Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming. He explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
We're off and running with today's topics, and a couple of them will be out of Pickaway County. And here's a neat thing that happened yesterday in Circleville. Pickaway County Community Foundation was honored by Uptown Circleville during the ribbon cutting and unveiling ceremony for the new clock and bench sculpture at Court and Main Street. The PCCF's grant was one of the 3 funding sources for the project. Efforts like this are possible through donations to the Community Impact Fund and the quarterly grants made possible. Now, the people that you see in the photo, that's Bob Sneed on the left, Katie Hedges in the middle, and Frank Merrill. And I'm going to go up today to Circleville anyway, and I'm going to get another photo of this. This is kind of like the old, I guess you'd call it a pedestal clock that you used to see back in the old days in the streets. But they also have a bench sculpture, or are going to have. So I don't know if it's up or they're going to get it, but I'm going to find out when I go through Circleville.
We talked about
today.
Big Ben a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. This is Circleville's version of Big Ben.
I just don't know if it dongs. I don't see a bell. They do have that in the clock tower there at Circleville. So, also with winning the Agency of the Year award, Erie Insurance donated money to the Mighty Children's Museum. That's Andy Tomlinson and the gang, and they're giving a shout out to Erie Insurance for their $3,000 donation.
Due to unforeseen medical issues, Beverly Gray will be unable to deliver the lecture A Servant's View as previously scheduled. It will be rescheduled for Sunday, August 25th at 2 p.m. And Saturday is the last day for the Pickaway County Fair. I'll be out there this afternoon, so if you want to come say hi to your favorite Litter Media employee, come out there.
You'd say Mike's not, he's in the other part of Circleville.
Oh, yeah.
But you're just going to be getting kind of like literally a fanfare look at the fair.
Yes.
So
I want to see you eating your elephant ears and your funnel cakes.
So get your the old funeral home fans you used to see. They had them in church years ago before air conditioning was a thing. You had to fan yourself with the old fans. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that out at the fairgrounds in Pickaway County today as well. Heading south down into Pike County, I was down there yesterday. Waverly Village Council gets to go home after their chambers were renovated. The reopening ribbon cutting for the Village Council chambers will be at 6:30 p.m. June 26th. Now, I didn't see this until after I drove through Waverly, and I happened to look over at the the council chambers, and I didn't see anything that looked different, but I was thinking, we need some more stock photos of Waverly. And then I got home and saw this, and I thought, I wish I'd have known that before. I'd have taken a picture. So maybe we'll get down there in the next week or so. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources is seeking proposals for projects that will encourage economic and community development across coal mining areas of Ohio. The Division of Mineral Resources Management has up to $20 million in abandoned mine land economic revitalization grants. Now, how this money is used, here's just an example. In Jackson County, the Wellston Recreation Complex project established recreational facilities like improved baseball, softball field, soccer field, trails, and improved parking while eliminating the abandoned mine land hazard. So that's actually in Vinton County that you're seeing there, but that's kind of how that program works.
And one last update on the passing of broadcast colleague Tom Beard. In lieu of flowers for his June 24th funeral, gifts may be made to the Chillicothe-Ross Community Foundation Tom Beard Fund for Students. Checks may be mailed to 45 East Main Street, Chillicothe, Ohio. That's 45601. And
Tom's still giving, even though he's not here physically with us. Our road report, this is the last of the updates on the super load that came through Ross County yesterday. They've already gotten beyond, that's right there, they already have gotten beyond US 22. They're north of that. They will stay at Rickenbacker Parkway tonight before going off to their final destination.
Yeah. These are all pictures from this morning that Matt Bruning put on his Facebook page.
Yeah, so went up 104 and it'll be going beyond. So most of you people in Pickaway County, you've seen the last of that one, but more loads to come here in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
That's a look at our topics. Sports coming up. Not such a good day for the Reds yesterday, but the Paints are humming. We'll get to all of that coming up on Litter Media Live.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Jumping into sports, something local here, the Chillicothe High School cross-country team will be having Schmidt's Food Truck in town on July the 14th. Now, this is a fundraiser for the team. The time of the event is noon to 5 p.m., and the location will be in the parking lot next to the YMCA of the Chillicothe High Junior High School.
You know, I've never had Schmitz.
Oh, I've many times.
I've never had it.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Have you ever had German food at all?
Yeah, I've had German food. I've been to a restaurant in Columbus that was German food, but I've never had Schmitz.
But not Schmitz. I like the schnitzel.
Okay.
I like the their meatloaf is fantastic, but that's just me.
Well, maybe I'll just have to go to this fundraiser. Get some Schmitz.
There you go. They've been out in Frankfurt and we've had them down at our church a number of times. So, yeah, they've become a regular fixture down here.
Yeah. Paints score 11 runs for the second straight night in an 11-7 win over the Rex.
And this particular picture was a grand slam hit by, I think it's Eric Colasso. I think that's how I heard Jacob Wise pronounce it. That happened in the 7th inning that put them in the lead, but they went on to the 11-7 victory.
That's pretty impressive.
The Reds, they dropped the rubber match of that 3-game series in Pittsburgh, 1-0 yesterday. I feel bad for the pitchers like this kid, Green. They pitch so well, and you get beat because your offense is on vacation.
Right.
But they come home Friday night. The Reds are off today, but they will open a weekend series at Great American Ballpark Friday night against the Boston Red Sox. And the Guardians, still on the winning trail, they get an 8-0 win over Seattle. That's sports. When we come back, we'll take a look at this day in history as we go to 1975 in the movie theaters. All that coming up.
But first, Litter Quality Propane. There's no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane today about our metered gas service at litterpropane.com.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor and on target for your needs for well over 4 decades, serving not only the Scioto Valley, but counties all the way to Cincinnati, Dayton, up in the Columbus area. And by the way, if you have a business that you need some of this work done, they also do contract work for businesses, construction, where you need the heating, cooling, plumbing, that sort of thing, as well as residential. Give them a call for Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Let's go back to the movies. In 1975, bum, 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 bum.
That's pretty good.
On this date, this is an example of why you need soundtracks in movies.
Yes. John Williams, did he do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I just did that, which was not even a good, facsimile of, you know what we're talking about if you've ever seen Jaws. Well, it came out in the theaters on this date back in 1975, terrifying everybody out of the water. It became the blockbuster of the summer and the highest grossing film in movie history until it was bested 2 years later. I've got 1777. It was 1977 for a movie called Star Wars. But they won 3 Oscars for this movie: Best Film Editing, Best Original Score,
right,
duh, and Best Sound. And Steven Spielberg, the director, was only 27 years old when they made this movie.
That's crazy. And this was like the first summer blockbuster ever.
Well, certainly in our lifetime.
Right.
In 1970, there's kind of a backstory. Of course, we're talking about Jaws, but we mentioned Star Wars in this piece. You ever see the original The Omen with Gregory Peck? Well, 20th Century Fox was in financial trouble. When the movie The Omen came out, it was either 75 or 76.
I think it was 76.
It was a blockbuster. And it not only saved 20th Century Fox financially, but it put enough money in the bank for them to make a movie called Star Wars.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting how the success of one thing can beget something else because they had the money to do it.
Yeah.
It was Jaws making the headlines on this day. And, you know, we've had all these reports this year already about shark attacks off the coast, and everybody goes back to this movie. So
one of my favorite things about Jaws is I read the animatronic just didn't work very well. So they had to use it really sparingly. And that's why it's so effective. Because if you saw it throughout the whole movie, it wouldn't be as terrifying.
Yeah. Well, the unseen is always some of the most scary movies that I think I've ever seen. There was a movie called The Haunting. The sequel that was done many years later, it was awful. But this was made back in, I think, 63, 64, black and white. I can remember seeing that as a kid. I was terrified. But there's these, whatever you want to, spiritual entities or ghosts or whatever in this house. You never see them in the movie.
Yeah.
But you hear them and you see the impact that their presence has on the people that are in this house. And I can't watch that movie today without getting those cold chills running up and down. So it's the way you put these movies together that makes them such lasting memories.
Is Jaws your favorite Spielberg movie?
Oh, I watch it a lot. I just like the performance, staying on that theme. I've seen interviews with, isn't that terrible? I'm starting to show my age. The marine biologist, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss thought in the making of this movie, while they were making it, he thought it was going to bomb. And he was dreading it. The whole movie, he just kept saying, this is just a failure. And even after the movie first came out, he just thought, my career is over.
Right.
Because he had some success in the, what was the teenage flick where they're hot rodding all through the town with
American Graffiti?
Thank you. So he was kind of on his way up the ladder, and he thought, this is going to destroy my career. It's so bad. But when the movie came out and the theaters were packed, he said, I realized I made a bad judgment there.
And that's how Alec Guinness felt about Star Wars, too.
Is that right?
He hated Star Wars because he was this accomplished Academy Award-winning actor, and he thought, what am I doing this sci-fi crap for?
Yeah.
What does my career come to?
Yeah. The movie that was made back in the early 30s, it happened one night with Clark Gable, and I can't remember the actress's name that was in it, but she was a star. They were actually put on this movie because back then you were pretty much under contract in a studio.
Yeah.
Or to a studio, but they would like loan you out to another studio in exchange for maybe getting another actor to come your way. Well, Clark Gable was in the doghouse with his studio, and they put him on this movie because he was basically being punished. And it'll come to me after the show's over. The gal, she hated the movie. She hated the story. She had no joy in being there. And then this movie wins like 8 Academy Awards. Right. It was a Frank Capra movie. So you just never know. Sometimes you think you're doing something and nobody's gives a hoot, and it turns out to be a hit. So it's kind of like this show. Only I didn't say which way it's going.
Right.
But that's going to cover it for today. Again, Dan is on assignment. He's in a meeting today, and he'll bring back some details of that coming up tomorrow when he rejoins us. So until that time, again, stay cool out there. It's a hot one again today, folks. For Aaron Glandon, this is Mike Smith saying so long from all of us at Litter Media Live.